Michelle from Michelle Loves Books. Welcome back to my channel. We are here to do the frustrating book tag. The original creator of this tag is the PM Reader, but I was tagged to do this by my friend Nana Lit Nana. I have left Nana's information in the description box below, so if you haven't checked out her channel, do yourself a favor and go check her out. She is such a great human, and I love co-hosting the Vampire Academy read-along with her. Yes, shameless plug. For real, it's not too late to join us. All of that information will be left below as well. The questions. Question number 1. Name a book that you predicted would be 5 stars, but it wasn't. Definitely Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I read this for a video project where I read my friend Nicol's favorite books. If you want more in-depth thoughts on that, that'll be left below for you too. Basically, I had picked it. It's been on my TBR for a really long time. I knew without a doubt I was going to fall in love with this book. It was going to be a new favorite. It was going to be like a top tier, maybe even better than Hunger Games. Yeah, no. I was really disappointed that I couldn't get into this book. Question number 2. What book had a great beginning, but an ending that let you down? At first, I had a really hard time coming up with a book for this, but on second thought, I have 2 books. One of them is kind of silly. One of them is Fable, and it's only because it left me hanging, but it was a good time. As much as I hate that, I also kind of love it because it means that I love it and I cannot wait for the next book. And I just love that feeling and anticipation of just having that passion for reading and having a passion for the story. It's just frustrating when I have to wait a few months to find out what happens next. The other book was Beautiful Disaster. This was a bad ending. I just could not believe this couple went ahead and did this thing. I hated it. They had no business doing that. They should have split ages ago, but then I guess we wouldn't have had the book that kept me up all night. They just want to be dumb, so whatever. Question number 3. Do you have a book with a pretty cover but an ugly spine? Well, yeah, I got a lot of books, and there's all different types of ugly spines. We can talk about the mass market paperbacks. By nature, they're just not great looking books anyways, and I have a lot of them where the spines are all broke, so that's innately an ugly spine. I feel like I should go get some of them. This one, I don't even know. I mean, the cover of it's okay, but like there's a knee and a hand, but like an elbow, a knee and a hand and an elbow. Like where'd the rest of her go? That's like the stupidest, that's ugly. Just the whole cover is atrocious. Oh, the question was, do you have a book with a pretty cover but an ugly spine? This one works for it too. That's actually a really pretty cover. I like it. Question number 4. Do you have a book series that doesn't match? Maybe some are paperback, some are hardcover. Maybe the cover designs were changed halfway through the series, and does it bother you? The most hodgepodge series that I have, actually I think the only one, is my Shadowhunters series. Okay, I'm not grabbing all of the books to show, but I have these in hardback, and I have some of them in hardback like this, and then I have some of them in paperback, but they're still like the same cover. And then I have these, the black and white spines. It does actually really bother me. At the same time though, I found them all really cheap. It's not like I paid full price for them and they don't match. I found them for like $2, $3. I don't think I paid more than $5 for any of them, except for Tales of the Shadowhunter Academy, which I regret buying. So it's a trade-off. Like, do I want to spend an arm and a leg? No, I'm good with saving money. I do have to say I am really mad about the Court of Thorns and Roses series, because they did a cover change for the 4th book that's coming out soon. I kind of want to just rebel and not get it, but I do want to read it. I'm probably still going to try to get my hands on it, because I really hate buying new books, and I know that sounds really bad, but I am my money here, okay? And I like to read a lot, and I like to have a lot of books. If I paid full price for all of these, no, that not going to work. So I'm probably going to check it out at my library, and then maybe when all of the books come out, then I'll get like a set or something that all look and match. I don't know. I just don't see myself going out and buying it and then being mad at the cover change. I'm saying that the original covers are great, like with the actor or the character on the front, but the cover changed books, they don't seem to match what's inside the book or anything about the book to me. So I don't like them. Question number 5. Is there a book from your youth that you can remember parts of but cannot remember the name of or find anywhere? Sort of. Well, there's 2 books I'm going to mention. The first one, I already actually have an ebook copy of it. And the second one, I never actually tried to look for it. It's probably not that difficult to find. I do remember the books, and I basically remember what they're about. I'm sure I've forgotten some things, but they were 2 of my favorite books. Now, one of them is called I don't know how to pronounce it. Danny or Deanie by Judy Blume. This is about a girl who wears a brace, and I think it's told from this girl's perspective. She doesn't have a lot of friends. She sees a girl that comes in who's like glamazon, most beautiful girl she's ever seen, but realizes that she has to wear a brace, and it's something that causes this girl a lot of, makes her very self-conscious. But she wears like a full body brace because she has scoliosis. And I guess maybe part of what made it stick out to me is because that used to be when, I don't know if they still do it. I guess the doctors do it, but I swear, I could have my facts wrong, but I swear that they used to like have us bend over and check our spine at school. Like maybe the school nurse had us do it. So that was around the same time I guess I learned about scoliosis, and then I read this book, so kind of making those connections. The other one I want to mention is called Stone Words. I don't even know who wrote it. I can vividly remember what the cover looked like though. It's basically just a girl's face, but it was an absolute favorite. I really felt like I identified with the main character during that time. She was a girl that didn't have a lot of friends. The main character has a best friend that's a ghost named Zoe. I loved this book so much that even I always knew that whenever I was going to have children, I was going to name my child Zoe, which my cousin ended up being named Zoe. And I remember thinking, well, dang, now I can't use that name. Except moot point, because I had boys anyways. And then also I named my son Aaron, and my nephew's name is Aaron as well. So I don't know. Question number 6. Are there any books you're certain that you've read but cannot remember anything about? I had to think for a minute on this one because I was scrolling through all the books that I read for the last year, and I literally forgot a lot of I just forgot that I had read something. I was like, oh yeah, I did read that this year. I have 2 for this question. 2 that I had to read for school. And it's funny because I actually have plans this year to reread them. One of them I read for AP English, and that's called The Sun Also Rises. I'm tripping up because I was like, I actually have that book shelved. Maybe I should just go grab it. I'm gonna go grab it. So I have The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway. I had to read this for AP English my junior year in high school. Honestly, I'm a lot more excited about reading it because it's got a really cool cover. Like, I really like this cover. Anyways, I picked this up sometime last year, I think, because I've been wanting to just give it another shot and see if my opinion has changed since high school, if I could appreciate it in a different way, not having to read it for school. But reading it for school, I hated it. It made absolutely no sense to me. I can't remember what it's about. He wanted us to like analyze the symbolism in the book. I completely missed the mark on what the teacher wanted us to get out of it. I think I'm really stubborn and snarky, and I thought that was a bunch of bullshit. A lot of things. I'm being sarcastic right now. I don't know if this was really a thing. But for instance, what does the author mean when he says the sun was rising? That it's morning? Oh my gosh. I was just like, you are trying to make mountains out of molehills. The next one is we read Julius Caesar. I didn't even know I was reading a Shakespeare play in high school. I think it was same year, junior year. Hold on. Oh, maybe it was my sophomore year. Honestly, I was just too nervous to pay attention. Now, granted, it wasn't one of these. It was just, I just have a copy of that book too. It was like the big textbooks. I had horrible anxiety in school. Like every single day I would wake up and just be nauseous. Like I thought I was sick and didn't want to go to school. And as soon as I like got there and got out of the car and started walking down the hall, I felt better. But just the anxiety of like going to school made me physically ill. So in class, we're sitting there taking turns, and the way the classroom was set up too is that there was like 2 rows of desks facing the other students, and then there are 2 rows of desks facing the other students, almost kind of like a debate classroom. And I think that classroom was actually used for like debate as well. So I was just like too nervous to pay attention. All I could think about was how I was just dying inside, waiting for them to come around to my turn when I was going to have to read. And I was just trying to get through my lines. I wasn't actually absorbing them and understanding them. The whole time everyone else was reading, I was not listening to it. The whole time I was just nervous when it was going to be my turn again. So I was just hoping I would just disappear and not be dumb when they called on my turn to read. It's amazing how far I've come now, huh? Many years later. I will be actually reading Julius Caesar next month. But in college, I took Shakespeare. I took it my very last semester, and it was my favorite class of all time. I mean, I loved my paralegal classes, but this one was just so much fun in a different way. I was like, maybe I should have gone into English Lit instead of law. Whatever, I'm just glad. Ever since that class, like, I've fallen in love with Shakespeare, so I'm super excited to be reading this next month. Question number 7. Have you ever recommended a book that you loved to someone and they started telling you everything they didn't like about it? Does it bother you? In other words, do your feelings get hurt when someone doesn't love one of your favorite books? The only one I could think of maybe is Twilight. Nobody likes that book or anything associated with it, despite like fans crying hysterically. Now these crazy chicks are like, oh no, that wasn't me, or blame it on my youth. No, I'm really not sensitive if people don't like the things that I read. There's lots of things that I don't like that other people like. I think that's what's so fun about talking. It would be no fun to have a book discussion if everyone was like, yes, I agree. I like it. I like it because of this. I like everything about it. That would be no fun. So I really think that it's more fun when people have opposing opinions and why they feel that way. And most of the time when they explain why they didn't like something, I'm like, I can see your point on that, you know? I don't think there's ever been a point where I was just like, no, you're dumb for not liking it. Like, no, their point is valid. It makes sense to me. I just like that thing. The thing that makes me more mad than anything regarding the Twilight hate is that I feel like some of the commentary and criticism isn't always warranted. And I say that about earlier criticism. It's only become to my attention recently, people being not happy with Stephanie Meyer because of the commentary she puts on Native Americans and the Quileute tribes and things like that, and the fact that she didn't say anything about it. So this is not about that. This is about other criticism regarding, say, for example, the actors who played the characters. That's really not fair. Kristen Stewart got so much hate after those movies. And then all the drama regarding her relationship with Robert Pattinson, all the love that Robert Pattinson received, and like grown-ass adults crying and like wanting to be with Robert Pattinson. I'm like, guys, he is a child almost. Like, he is 17. Get it together, cougars, okay? That was a little ridiculous, just saying.
Let's just watch a little movie.
How long have you guys all been out here waiting? Yesterday. Well, how did you sleep? On the floor. So where did you guys come from? San Diego. Denver. I'm flying all the way here from Maryland. This is Jacob. So you want Rob to marry you? I'm going to marry him. Okay, now if Rob stops and sees that sign, and he literally stands up here, what are you going to tell him? We're going to make eye contact, and I'm going to tell him I love him, and then he's going to throw me in his arms, we're going to get married. Are you going to cry? Yes. I'm going to pass out. When he comes, I'm going to die, I'm going to scream, I'm going to cry! I'm right. Team Edward, for you, anything, forever! But you'd have to give up your life, would you? I would. Are you a little bit jealous of Bella? Who wouldn't be jealous of Bella? Okay, come on. I don't like Bella. Well, that's interesting. Why jealous?
The opportunity to meet her celebrity crush, Taylor Lautner, and the first thing she did was feel his abs, which was quite weird.
That's with you right now. They asking you to bite them, so they give you their necks and say, "Oh." Oh my God! I got a hickey from Robert. That was no joke. That felt good too. Taylor, you have the most gorgeous teeth I have seen since 50 Cent was on the show. Gorgeous teeth.
Would you like them to bite you?
Yes. Why don't you bite my legs? Guess what I have?
No, you didn't.
The fans are wearing G-strings that say Team Robert, which is yours.
This has a little stain on it.
Oh, no, it doesn't. That's disgusting. And Team Taylor. Girls are actually wearing them. Girls are wearing those. Speaking of those, you guys are successful actors, but this movie has taken you to the stratosphere. So I think you should get... Oh Why are you laughing?
Sorry, I just can't stand this.
Well, you should get used to it because y'all are really famous now, so girls can be throwing you them draws.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about the groupies. Are the girls coming on you guys a lot now?
Well, I have had someone ask me to sign their Teen Taylor panties.
Are you serious? Did you do it?
No, I didn't.
No?
My publicist was right there, and she said we had to go do another interview. But yeah, it was at the premiere, and she wasn't a teenager. She was in her 40s.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
She was in. And how old are you? In your 20s?
No.
You're a teenager?
Yeah.
So that is disgusting.
Yeah,
That is
right.
absolutely disgusting. You dating?
Me and Taylor. Us.
No, not each other.
Oh. That's right.
No, Taylor, are you dating?
Not one, but dating.
Are you serious?
How does that work? What do you mean, how does that work?
You're dating more than one girl?
No. Not like that. Just like, I don't know, I'm a teenager. I date. you
Yeah.
know?
And who are you into
What?
right now? Who are you dating?
What?
I heard that one of you guys is a fan of my Tyra show. So you watch my show.
I have done, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was your favorite episode? Test.
I don't think I can say.
Yes, you can.
I can't.
Why? When I was a stripper?
Did you have an episode where you were a stripper?
Yeah, I did. Thousands of fans mobbed Robert, and several girls were pushed and trampled, and they actually got really hurt.
Okay, so I had to add commentary to this. At first, I was only really just looking for like a meme, but I ended up finding all of this stuff, and it was like, I know I'm deviating from the original video, theme of the video and stuff like that, but I just cannot. I knew the Twilight fans were crazy, but watching this made me just see, I don't even know, so much more. I just can't not. When I was into keeping up with everything, I didn't follow the movie stars. I've never been into that kind of thing. If I see something on tabloids, I'm just like, oh my gosh, more gossip. I don't like that kind of thing. I think that's rather toxic. And I don't think that it's fair to do to these actors who are just doing a job. So I really wasn't following all of that. I thought a lot of the stuff that was coming out isn't our business. Our culture seems to feel like their lives are our business. Anyways, that's a whole nother topic for another day. I had to add commentary to these clips that I'm sharing because if Robert and Taylor were women, people would throw a fit. Even if they were adults, which I'm going to mention this a couple times, these are teenagers. Some of the stuff that these fans pull, people would be arrested or should be arrested for sexual harassment. Not only are there people just inappropriately groping them without their consent, like for example the clip with the girl who just reaches out and rubs her hand down his chest. In what world did she think that was going to be okay? Did she do that to everybody she finds hot? And then other things like making lewd suggestions, which is serious harassment, like the clip where Taylor's talking. No, he talks about it at least 3 times just in the ones that I pulled about women asking him to sign their underwear. And he's like, no, it's not even the teenagers. It's the grown-ass women. But it's supposed to be cool because they're guys. They like the attention. I'm pretty sure that these guys do not like the attention. Not to mention, they are underaged. And people just seem to laugh this off. They have this attitude where it's kind of expected because they played this part. No, that's never okay. If they were young girls, people would throw a fit. Thank you, Tyra, for calling it out. There's definitely some problematic things in this. Just saying. So, I just had to interject for a minute. I think you understand why.
But the actors all did a really good job portraying the characters. I feel like a lot of this criticism came from people who solely watched the movies and then went on the roller coaster of the craze, but did not actually read the books. It's possible they still wouldn't like the characters. I get it. People think that Kristen Stewart's boring, and that's just a matter of opinion. That's fine. But not Kristen. I'm sorry. No, people think Kristen's boring too, but they're they don't even know her, right? As you can tell, I'm getting a little heated, okay? Like I said, it's the people who are die-hard fans, hysterical twihards. We're talking about you guys who are denying everything. And I feel it's okay if your opinion changed, but don't lie. You were that girl up front, crying and screaming at the sight of a movie star, confusing the actor from the character. Although it was a bit cringy. I think if that were me, I would have been like, who? No, I don't know who that is. So Anyways, that's the only time where I feel like I get really mad about people's opinions, and it's mostly just because that was a lot to unpack there. And moving on, question number 8, what is your worst experience loaning a book to somebody? Mostly, I don't really know a lot of people in my life who are readers, especially if they're not in positions where we would even be in a position to loan books to each other. There was one incident where when I used to work at PetSmart, one of my coworkers, we were talking about like the Sookie Stackhouse books because she was watching the show, and I had already read all the books and I started watching the show, but I read the books before I watched the show, and then she watched the show and wanted to read the books. So I gave her the first 5 books in the series, and I never got them back. I love this series. It's my favorite. I wanted to reread it. So that was probably the worst. Secondly, my husband is really hard on books, like really hard. We read the Divergent series and we read the Hunger Games series together. And then he also read Maze Runner. He finished all the Maze Runners. I started them, but I didn't finish them. The Divergent series, like the first one was like a paperback, and then the other 2 were hardbacks. Well, I know I replaced the first book, so I have a nice set. Looks beautiful. The Divergent series, all hardbacks now. But the first one is a disaster. It's a mess. One of my kids was drawing in here. That's funny. Honestly, this isn't too bad. There's like a little bit of warping here from a little bit of water. I thought it was a lot worse. Why was I thinking it was worse? This one's not too bad, but it does have the dust jacket to help cover it. Without the dust jacket, there's like some damage to the original spine. These are old and we've moved them all over the place. And then Mockingjay has no dust jacket. So this is another series. I have some hardback and some paperback. These are his books. Honestly, this one's not too bad. It's just really dirty. Cover is actually not too bad. And here's another one of his. This was like a pure white book, and yeah, it's very, very dirty. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, and here's another one. Quite beat up there. I can like feel the dirt on the pages. Like it kind of bothers me to even touch the book. So needs to say, when my husband says, oh, I think I'll read that book, I'm like, you're not reading my book. We'll get you your own copy that you can destroy. It makes me so nervous. He wanted to read Crescent City, and I'm like, oh my God. I don't want to be like rude and be like, now look here. If you're going to touch my book, here's what's up. Question number 9, show me some of your impulse buys that you've never read. You know the ones you bought at midnight while online shopping, or when you were walking through a bookstore and magic of all the books made you grab a few too many. And we can't forget all those books at such a good price that somehow make it into our shopping bags. Now, I am a sucker for thrifted books. My library does this huge quarterly sale where you fill a whole grocery bag for $1. I have shared these haul videos before, and for July, I just did another one. I didn't do a specific haul video. I just kind of threw it in with my vlog. At this time, I haven't started editing it or uploading the footage, so who knows if it's going to go up. To be fair, I don't feel that guilty by being a book hoarder. I don't have any other collections. It's my one thing that I do. Something I'm starting this year is reselling my books. I used to seek out buy-sell trade stores to kind of flip books. I'll just basically trade them out for new books, and they would give you like store credit. However, the store needs to make a profit, so they only give you a small fraction of the book. And that's all well and good. I'm happy to support places like that. But where I'm living right now, there's one place that's about 30 miles away. So in the past, I've made really good trades, but the last couple of times, I just know that I could do better. So I kind of want to run my own buy-sell trade group on Facebook for my local area. I'm not shipping any books, so before you get too excited, if you don't live in my local area, sorry. Books are expensive to ship. I just shipped my brother a couple for Christmas, and it was more than half the cost of both the books just to ship them. I was like, I should have rethought this, and I should have just had him ship them through Amazon and gift wrapped them. That would have been so much smarter. But no, I wanted to wrap them for Christmas, and it's fine. But in the future, I'm just going to Amazon ship a book if I want to send somebody something. So basically I wanted to start this whole group to get the price that I want for my books. I have some really good books that I just didn't even read, but they're in perfect, pristine condition. But I thought a local group would really, really great because I was thinking we could do a big like event where we could do like a trunk or trade kind of thing where you have a couple people, you bring some books and then can walk around and like trade books with people and just kind of browse and stuff, or you can post it on there and be like for sale for this price, or trade for, you know, a book of equal value or equal condition. Like if you have a mass market paperback, I'm not going to trade a mass market paperback for this kind of like you know, up for trade, and then they would like PM you, or if you said I accept the trade, then you could PM them. So I have to kind of still work out the kinks on that idea, but that was kind of my whole idea going behind it. So I'm kind of still deciding if I want to just test it in like a local garage sale Facebook page, or just go for it as I kind of have in my mind. Go ahead and let me know what you guys think of that. And the last question number 10, just to make you hate me a little bit more, how many unread books are on your shelves? Honestly, I am too embarrassed to answer this question. Last year, I really started to prioritize reading the shelved books that I have. I did pretty good, but I plan to do it a lot better this year. And maybe by the end of this year, I'll answer that question. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you later. Bye.